So I'm told, folks, that back in 2022, Nicholas Huggins shot into the limelight for his illustration of the Google Doodle of the national instrument of Trinidad, the steel pan, which was showcased on the American search engine Google. The Trinidadian visual storyteller is about to open a solo exhibition called Field Trip, and he joins us now via Zoom with more on his work, past and present. But I tell you everything I read is I don't think I need to interview him anymore. Mas Nicholas, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it is our pleasure to have you. Now, it says Chief Executive Officer of Backyard Designs. Let's start there. What's Backyard Designs?
So Backyard Design is a small agency that I founded in 2019. We do mostly packaging design, brand identity, as well as custom illustration work here in Trinidad and Tobago. And we also do a lot of work up the islands as well as in the US and Europe as well.
Oh, beautiful. So, Nicholas, I'm about 314 years old. What is a Google Doodle, sir?
So a Google Doodle, basically, if you ever use the Google search engine, you know that on some days they will basically highlight certain things and they will change the Google logo on the search engine to sort of match whatever it is they are choosing to celebrate on that day.
Okay, so I can remember when we had our independence, they put up the Jamaica flag and stuff like that. Is something like that you're talking about, right?
Exactly.
So what did you do?
So I created a Google Doodle alongside an animator and a couple musicians here in Trinidad, and we basically created an animation that celebrated the steel pan, which is the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago, and that came out in July of 2022, and we had actually worked on it for about 2 years before that until it finally went live.
Oh, brilliant. You're obviously a creative. When did that start? What was how you get into this thing? How you know that you could do Google Doodles and stuff like that? When did that start?
So I've always loved doing art. I've always done drawing, painting, and then I did art all the way up to Form 6 here in Trinidad. And then when it came time to choose what university to go to, I was encouraged to sort of pursue my dream of becoming an artist. And I went to the Savannah College of Art and Design in the US. And that's where I kind of found digital art. And I majored in graphic design. And when I came back home to Trinidad to work, that's kind of when I started doing a lot of illustration. And yeah, that's pretty much the start of my journey to where I am now.
Yeah, and I was in preparing for this. I read that you have some big installations in public places. Is that so?
Yes, I have recently started doing a lot of murals in Trinidad, and I have one in a mall, another one in another mall, in Panyards in Trinidad, as well as kind of the various places, basically, businesses, public spots, that kind of thing.
So when you're called to do something like that, are you given an idea what they want? Or they just say, Nicholas, we have a big wide space and we want you to fix it up? Or they say, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. How does it work?
Yeah, sometimes the clients will come and they might say, this is the idea that we have, this is the concept, and we want you to sort of visually execute that. Sometimes the client may come and they may say, you just do whatever you like, and we will sort of kind of approve the sketches. So there's a process. First, I will send the client sketches of what I'm thinking. And from there, once the sketch is approved, then we move on to sort of the final artwork that would then be installed onto the wall. Oh. But it varies. Sometimes they come to me with a concept. Sometimes they kind of give me free reign in terms of doing whatever I like.
Beautiful. And I know you have some Trinidad-based brands that you work with, but you also work with some big fellas like Johnny Walker and McDonald's. What would you have done for Johnny Walker? You just make a bottle of rum or something? What you did for them?
For Johnny Walker, I did a mural that they put up around the Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad.
What? That's a big thing. Queen's Park Oval is world renowned. That's a big thing.
Indeed, yeah.
So this is what you do full time, I suspect, because it sounds like you do so many things that I don't know what I must call you, a storyteller, a pan man. I don't know what I must call you. You do so many things. What? Yeah,
I try to dabble in a lot of different aspects of creativity and a lot of different aspects of art. So I like experimenting. So I kind of do whatever the tide takes me with, basically.
Yeah. What would be the greatest thing that you've done, whether in size, whether in importance, whether something that you just actually like, that boy, this one, sometimes I do this show and at the end of the show I say, no, sir, I never get it right at all. But sometimes I say, yeah, I feel I did well. So what was the greatest one you've done?
I think definitely it's kind of hard to beat doing a Google Doodle. You know, it was seen across the globe. I joked with my wife that I said I got more congratulatory messages by 8 a.m. the day the Google Doodle came out than on my wedding day and probably on all my birthdays combined. So that was definitely, I'd say, the most impactful. And it made me very proud as a Trinidadian to be able to work on a project that really highlighted my country.
Yeah, my father would ask if you got money for it.
Yes, it was a paid job.
Oh, you know that we are related, right? Me and you. You didn't know that?
Okay.
You know I'm your first cousin, so you can send some of that money to Jamaica.
Sure.
What's in the future? What is it? Are there things that you haven't done that you want to do? Are there things that you're working on now that might even be better than a Google Doodle?
I think right now the thing I'm most excited for, I have my solo exhibition that opens next week Saturday. So I'm super excited for that. I've created close to 50 brand new pieces that no one has ever seen before that's going to be showcased at this exhibition. And I think that I'm always like, what's the next thing? So because that's the next thing, that's probably the thing I'm most excited about right now.
50 pieces.
Yes, just about.
We're looking at, are these what we're looking at? Are these small pieces? Are these big murals? What are they?
They range in size. The smallest size in the exhibition will probably be, I did a series of 24 8-inch by 8-inch drawings of houses around Trinidad. And they go all the way up to about 36 inches by 38 inches, I think. So just over 3 feet wide. So,
all right. So you're going to do your exhibition. Where does the inspiration come from? I mean, how do you decide to draw a bottle or something? You're driving on the road and you see something and you say, oh, okay, I know what to do later on. Where does the inspiration come from?
So I go on a lot of walks. I go on a lot of drives. I consider myself as someone who's constantly collecting imagery, constantly collecting inspiration anywhere that I go. And a lot of my pieces, I really try to find sort of the beauty in probably the more overlooked moments of life in the Caribbean, life in Trinidad and Tobago. Something as beautiful as like how breeze blocks might look on a wall with some trees coming over the wall. So stuff that's super familiar to anyone who lives in Trinidad and Tobago, who may live in the Caribbean. Things that are very familiar, but finding the beauty in those familiar things.
Beautiful. By the way, I should have asked you this from before, but how did you make the connection with Google for you to do a Google Doodle? You just do it and send it to them and hope that they would grab it?
So actually, how that came about was I got a DM on Instagram by a lady. She said she was one of the art directors at Google, and she wanted to know if I was interested in doing a job. So the first thing I did was I was like, this is for sure a scam. So I went, I did my due diligence. I Googled her and I saw that it was a legit request. So from there, she would have sent over an NDA for me to sign. Once I signed the NDA, she then sent over the creative brief. And the reason that the entire process took 2 years was because initially she just wanted a static image with Google and the steel pans. And what I proposed to them was, because it's a musical instrument, I said, let's create a 1 minute long animation. Let's add music to it. So from there, I was able to bring on board a team. So Mixie Gobin, a Trinidadian animator, he did all the motion design using my illustrations. And then the music was done by Etienne Charles and Dr. Len Bugsy Sharp. They kind of handled the music side of it. So it was really a collaborative effort from that point on.
All right, final question. Some people do landscapes, some people do faces. If I didn't know your work and I said, what do you do? What's your answer?
I would say I do a lot, but I would say the key thing is that no matter what my subject matter is, I'm always just trying to highlight the beauty of the Caribbean.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Brethren, I'm very, very impressed with what you have done, with what you're doing. and what you plan to do, including sending the money to your first cousin in Jamaica. Great to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man, God bless you and your family. Enjoy the holiday season, and we'll talk again when you come to Jamaica. You have to come to Jamaica.
Definitely. Thank you. Have a good morning.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Blessings. Nicholas Huggins, Chief Executive Officer of Backyard Designs, and he's from Trinidad and Tobago. That's it for the Caribbean Check-In.